When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech for Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech for Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
And the sponsor of the Warrior League Goat Racing Diecast 150 at the Monster Mile.
All right, welcome everyone to the IWM Broadcast Network for tonight's showing of the Tech for Troops Cup Series here at Talladega. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm joined in the booth by my co-broadcaster, John Derudris. John, this is Dega. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a wild race. It is the last race before we go into our championship playoff format. And this track is the wild card of all wild cards. Somebody from last place can win. Somebody who, is already won can win. Anybody can win here. We have our typical suspects that are typically near the front, but in a playoff cutoff race, basically, you got to win to get in here. And I think if you're a driver that is on that cutoff line, you are going to be hoping and praying that you just stay out of the big one. And so this race is going to be wild. You're going to want to stick around to the end because I know it's going to get crazy. Possibly a lot of big wrecks in this one too. And you don't want to miss the interviews at the end with the podium finishers because you're probably going to see some very ecstatic individuals by the end of this. But Rick, we're about halfway through qualifying, and tonight here we have a great race in store. So let's talk a little bit about specifically about the race itself. So we have a 90-lap race looking here tonight at Talladega, and it is going to be a lot of battling on track with pit road speed at 55 miles an hour, no quick repairs, 3 sets of tires, 60% fuel, and 3 green-white checker restarts. And that track temp, Rick, 122 degrees.
Hot. We're really
it is hot. Yeah, that's really, really hot here. in Alabama. So looking to see how that's going to affect these cars here tonight. So with 60% fuel, looking at pit road estimates somewhere around 18, I would say about 19 to 21 laps, I would say, on a fuel run. So you're going to have to make multiple stops in this one to make it to the end. But it's going to be crazy, Rick. It's going to be crazy.
Let's bring up the driver standings right now. So, folks, we were talking about the cut line earlier. So right there, Garrett Johnson, he is right there. He is in 16th place. Wyatt Gray just out of touch with he's 18 points behind. Aaron Jackson below that at 22. Jeff Nairn at 27. Philip Vandertwick at minus 30. So those, I mean, for Philip to get in, that's going to be a win. But you know, they've got to hope either for things to happen, to go wrong dramatically for those guys in front, and for them to have a great finish to vault themselves up in there. But as you can see, 5 drivers have already punched their ticket into the playoffs. A number of drivers are pretty safe, but you know, those that pretty much 13th on back: Cody Sturgill, Aiden Lucas, Sammy Harrell, Garrett Johnson. You should be concerned that you need to have a good outing.
For sure, they absolutely do, and so it's going to be a battle. So if you haven't won any of those drivers that are below that cut line, it's going to be absolutely wild for those drivers.
Here's a bit unfortunate. We had 40 drivers qualify. We only have 35 spots, but John Ledger, who is sitting 9th in the points, did not make the race. He did not make the cut.
Boy!
So that's
how many points back is he?
Excuse me. He is. He's got 276, so he's not in that bad of a shape, but he could wind up dropping down in the standings.
Well, it's going to be a race that he would love to be a part of. But yeah, you are right. John Ledger out of the race, and also if this is correct, Ryan D. Cook out of the race as well, with Maurice Burnett and Jeremy Flanagan.
Yeah, Greg Stone as well. So a number of drivers who we typically see on the regular not able to make the cut. We've got some great drivers out there, some new names, and hey, looks like we've got the drivers gritting up, so let's get to that.
Let's get into it. So here is your starting lineup for tonight's Tech for Troop Cup Series race at Talladega, brought to you by Tech for Troops and Goat Racing Diecast. On the pole in the 71 car is Wyatt Gray with Garrett Johnson to his outside, starting in P2. Starting in third, Scotty Grove. In fourth, Chuck Van Scoik. Starting in the third row, Zach Ward in fifth, with Lilith Peters starting in sixth. Christopher Howell starting in seventh. James Lowe starting in eighth. Alan Laney starting in P9 with Justin Horton to his outside in P10.
Nathan Harper finds himself in 11th to the outside. Brandon Brown in 12th. In 13th, Todd Merkel. 14th, Mike Slogter. Cody Sturgill is in 15th with Chad Jones in 16th. Ty Bostic is in 17th. Jeff Neaney is in 18th. Chris Worrell in 19th. And Pete Woodrum in 20th.
Starting in the 21st position, Aiden Lucas with Philip Vandertwick starting in 22nd. William Corinne starting in 23rd with Stephen Gibson starting there in the 24th spot. Starting in the 25th spot is Maxwell Caldwell. Dalton Schley starting to his outside in 26th. 27th is Dustin Coggin with Andrew Pileshi starting in 28th. Luke Bullard starting in 29th, and Justin Lewis starting in P30.
In 31st, Austin Call. 32nd is Jeff Nairn. 33rd, David Watts. 34th, Christoph Hall. 35th is Sammy Harrell. Sammy gets that coveted last position in the grid.
Yep, so 35, official drivers here on track. And Sammy Harrell, it was a close one there, buddy. Barely made it in, but hey, all it takes is a little bit, and then you're locked into the championship round of 16. So Rick, Talladega, let's really quick talk about the 3 keys I have for tonight's event. So with Talladega, it comes down to truly a couple different aspects. Obviously, I mean, this is probably could be near the top. Definitely survival. You got to survive this race. And if you do survive, there are a couple things you can focus on. So the first thing you can focus on specifically is your front, you're staying up front. So making sure, and what we've seen in the past is that you don't want to be hanging around the back. You don't want to be hanging around the middle. You want to be near the front of the pack, or make your way to the front of the pack as soon as possible. That way you can avoid all the chaos. Number 2, pit strategy. I believe we're going to get some green flag stops here. And pitting with teammates and pitting with friends is going to be at the priority, because if you don't pit with a group, oftentimes we see where this race ends up. You have a leader. He doesn't have any friends behind him. He comes down pit road, and you know what? He ends up going all the way cycling to the back if the race goes green, because he doesn't have any friends to draft with. And number 3, avoiding the big one. The big one is inevitable. It's going to happen. The question is when. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when here at Talladega. And since this is the last race before the playoffs, it's essentially the ultimate playoff race, the ultimate wild card. The big one is imminent. So we'll see what happens tonight. Appreciate everybody for tuning in from wherever you are. And if you haven't already, make sure to like the live and also subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss any action from the Tech for Troop Cup Series or the iNASCAR Racing Series on Thursday nights.
All right, here we go.
It's about to get this race underway in the Geico restart zone, and we are green flag racing in the season finale at Talladega. Oh boy, I'm on pins and needles over here, Rick. It's going to be wild.
I know. I'm just holding my breath a bit as this race begins to get underway, and these drivers are 2 wide, or soon to be 3 wide. I just know this is about to happen.
Someone's going to pop out immediately. It's going to happen. We've seen it almost in every single race. Who's going to be that driver that makes it 3 wide?
Who's going to be that guy?
Exactly. Right now we have Chuck Van Scoik on the bottom line with, I believe that is Scotty Grove on the outside line, with Lil Peters behind Scotty, trying to push that outside line to the lead, but it looks like Chuck Van Scoik now to the point. Excuse me, that was not Scotty Grove.
Garrett
that
Johnson.
was 50th Garrett Johnson, excuse me. But to the point, leading lap 1 is Chuck Van Scoik with Wyatt Gray behind him. So another playoff point there for the 23 car as the field dives into turn 1 again.
So this is a challenge. Some of these drivers are relatively new to the IWM, to the show, and we've got a number of drivers who are new to the Tech for Troops Cup Series that are now joined in. And you know, if you got someone behind you that's pushing you, that you've never worked with before, that's a little scary.
Just a little bit. It 100% is, and
I think Chuck in the 23 decided. Chuck Van Scoik said, "You know what? I led a lap. I'm going to kind of sit back here and let this race develop, and I'll make a run when I need to." He's already won for the season. That's not important. It's survival and also helping other team members.
For sure. I think he's going to be in a mission to try to help other team members. And what we do know is right now to the outside, in that 70 car, Chad Jones is the first one to jump to that outside. Behind him is the 06 of Chris Farrell. To the inside of them is the 14. As they go into, a little bit of a drop down there from the 15 of Garrett Johnston. He saw the mess, and he doesn't want anything to do with it.
I think they're super racy. They're already 3 wide there, and unfortunately he stayed down on the apron. That he should have moved up and tried to get up out of the way, but that's going to send him pretty far back. But you know, there's a lot of aggression already happening relatively early here. We are only in lap 3.
These drivers know what's on the line, but also there's 90 so odd laps to go. So, you know, with that many laps, I think if you're in the front, you just stay there. If you're in the back, you just stay there. And if you're somewhere in this middle pack that we see right now, you are praying every single second that something doesn't happen. And you're trying to either go to the front or go to the back. So,
I mean, that's 3 wide for the 15th position.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. You see that's Justin Horton, I believe, there in the middle line. Ty Bostic up there. You have Aiden Lucas, Pete Woodrum in this mix. You have a lot of drivers in this mix trying to make their way back up into somewhat of a normal line here at Talladega. But at the point, James Lowe with Little Peters, Wyatt Gray, Scotty Grove, and Alex when he's starting to make his way to the P5 position, as we see the 70 making a charge back up on the high side, going into turn 1 with the 06 behind them. They've tried this a couple laps now. They definitely want to utilize that high line to get to the front, and I think they want to do that because they know that nobody else is going to do it, and they'll be able to solidify that position up front. But the issue is they have no pushing help. So
there's some help, but they need that needs to be 5 or 6 cars together if they're going to make a run at this low line, which is relatively organized here.
Yeah, Steven Gibson, who went behind the 06, didn't mind pushing the 06, so he now moves in behind the first 2 cars in that upper row. As we see this second line starting to make a little bit of ground now. And what I noticed is it looked like in this higher line, the 41 was of Alex Linney, and I think that is the 18.
71 of Wyatt Gray jumped ahead of them to head up that outside line. That's a smart thing to do. I could be wrong, but I think they may be teammates. I'll double check.
They might be, but what I noticed is once that 97 got to the rear bumper of the 18 of Justin Horton, that outside line started cranking. So I don't know if that outside line really wanted to do this right at this moment, but I think they have no other choice. They are now leading this pack. Now this pack up at the top is very tight going into turn 1. And what we see oftentimes, you see 3 wide in the middle. The third driver in line try to push the driver in the middle, Rick. And you know what happens? Every time that happens, a wreck. So
never good.
Never good here. So see the 06 trying to possibly shoot the gap on the 97, doesn't do it. But those 2 guys, I believe they're teammates. It looks like their cars have somewhat similar paint schemes, similar styles, similar numbers. I would suspect, they have similar branding on the front with the sponsor, so I think they're possibly teammates. And a big move by the 06 of Chris Worrell to the outside. He's followed by the 70 of Chad Jones, who's also followed by the 68 of Brandon Brown. And, Brandon knows a few things about this track. He's won here before. Yes, that is the Brandon Brown who won here at Talladega. So hey, he's a guy I'd want to be friends with at this track.
Absolutely. He's done it in real life.
Was it Xfinity or was it trucks? It was Xfinity, wasn't it?
Xfinity, yep.
Yeah, that was, heck, if there's any other driver who can apply real-world experiences, it would be that 68 car, Brandon Brown. Obviously not in the Cup Series car. Oh, a little bit of a shake-up there at the front. Oh. And here comes the 06 to the outside. Big stack up on the bottom side.
By himself, though. Looking for some help.
He's got the help. Now, what is that 41 going to do? Is he going to block the high line? He does. Is the 06 going to move down? He does. 06 now to the middle line. Oh, he tried to go to the bottom.
Well, that's his teammate down there, but couldn't get down.
He couldn't get down, but you got a big push from the 68 to the 97. 97's getting all squirrely. Middle line checks up. We got big check up here in the middle lane, which is going to push that outside line, and we are 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. I mean, there's tons of rows of 3s here at Talladega, looking at the 3 of Mr. Luke Bullard, who's made his way up into the top 5.
Good Dega racing here, 3 wide here on the IWM Broadcast Network. Super glad you could tune in tonight. We appreciate you tuning in with us on Wednesdays. This is really where it comes down to it. I mean, if this is win and get in the playoffs. Anybody could get in. 19 drivers have an opportunity to vault over anybody else and get in the playoffs.
They absolutely do, and this is a massive pack. This is the pack of 30 cars, Rick, effectively here in this front pack, separated by just 1.6 seconds. So if a wreck happens, this is
a lot of movement, a lot of things going on. Let's try to jump into this right along with Ty Bostic. He's up there in the thick of it. Or Alex Linney. Let's ride along with Alex Linney.
Let's see what he sees from top line, giving a push to his teammate there. They are now clear to the middle line, but they are going to stay up high. Looks like they're going to split the 3 car. who's now going to be vacuumed basically in the middle, going to be brought back to the OCS.
Yeah, they completely come out of the throttle there. He had such a huge run.
Yeah, the runs are great. You see behind him and in his left rear view mirror, side mirror, that middle lane trying to form up, and he's up there in the high side. And yep, they moved down to the middle. They're trying to combat that side drift. Oh, car! Oh, I thought there was a car.
That was Lilith Peters that almost lost it.
Yeah, I thought I saw that too. So doing a great job in that high line, pushing along, and what a great camera angle this is. Almost like a crank it up kind of action here.
That's exactly what this is. This is our crank it up camera.
It really shows the true speed of how fast these cars are going. Oftentimes the moving cameras with the zooms take away a little bit from actually what's happening on track and how fast these cars are moving. And when you have those cameras that are stationary, you realize that these guys literally are going 200 miles an hour.
They are flying.
Yep. I mean, heck, I could get from here to Knoxville in an hour if I drive 200 miles an hour. Man, that would be nice. But right now we have almost 4 wide there in the middle, a big stack.
Oh, Wreck-It right there. He got turned.
Here it is, big one.
Turned in the middle.
Car upside down, I think. Flipping. Oh, he's back on his wheels.
Big wreck.
Oh, man.
Oh, so many cars damaged here.
That's the big one. We got that one live.
With a lot of well-known drivers getting caught up in that. I think both Chris Worrell and James Lowe were impacted by that wreck. Max Caldwell, Zach Ward, Aiden Lucas, Chuck Van Scoik, Todd Merkel, Chad Jones, Sammy Hero, Dustin Coggin, Garrett Johnson. There's a lot of guys involved.
Yeah, let's go back and see if we can dissect what happened. It looked like either a block gone wrong, but somebody definitely was spun off the bumper of someone.
I think it was the 15th right there off Sammy Harrell. Takes the 15 of Garrett Johnson up into the 3. Luke Bullard is in the fence.
Yeah, and everybody's trying to slide and stop. The 88 or the 06 gets turned right there, and then the track is blocked. I mean, Chuck Van Scoik went from the lead all the way to the back to avoid this kind of thing. He might be okay if he didn't get any damage from the cars coming down the track. But, man, you had 15 cars in this incident, 15-plus cars. I mean, there's a ton of drivers involved in this one. You have the 15, the 43, the 50, the 3 of Luke Bullard. And Rick, if you want to, there's a great camera angle from the 22 of Ty Bostic. He got a front row seat to it, and he missed the whole thing. If you want to take a look.
All right, let's go back. Ty Bostic.
He had a front row seat and avoided both the spins right in front of him. As we say, this pit road is now open. Right there. And then everybody else behind him.
Wow.
Just clears out. Well, everyone's on pit road, Rick. Probably going to get some fuel, and you might not see any tires this early on in the run. I mean, it's only 13 laps, so probably just a splash and go for all these drivers, refuel and back out. And looks like Nathan Harper, Lilith Peters, Kaiju Cat Motorsports wins the race out of pit road.
All right. Well, Nathan Harper finds himself being the control car on this restart here. This will be lap 15. Number of drivers. Sammy Harrell did not go in. Did he stay out?
No, he did not. Yeah, it looks like he did stay out. Interesting decision there.
Got a little bit of nose damage, I think. have to go back and look at some point, but certainly the start of that was that contact between the 43 and the 15.
Yep.
All right, here we are, lap 15. Our first caution of the night. Multi-car wreck caused by some early contacts between the 15th of Garrett Johnson and the 43. I think the 15 may have come down on the 43. Sammy Harrells finds himself on pit road with a number of other drivers. You know, there's the conservative thought says, okay, if you do your standard approach to these super speedways, you go in every time you can, top off on fuel, because your next round may just be solid green all the way through. I think that's normally how I would think about this race, but after watching those first 15 laps, we are super racy here.
Yeah, it's chaos.
Spicy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, I mean, I don't want to say atypical, because we've even seen this in the actual Cup Series where it doesn't matter. They will go all out on lap 1. We saw 4 wide, I mean, for multiple laps there. Now, they were obviously in fuel save mode, but still, it's the intensity is there, and we're a sixth of the way through the race, and you got to remember, are still, 75 laps to go. I mean, there is a lot of racing here. You don't want to put yourself in a position this early on to put yourself behind the 8 ball there. I mean, so it's definitely interesting to see how this race is going to play out. We're going to get the green flag here this time by and see who's going to be aggressive. I mean, you have drivers that are still in this race, some damaged, some not, that need good finishes to make the playoffs. So, again, it's going to be crazy out here. It's Talladega. This is why we have this as the cutoff race. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it always proves to be good entertainment nonetheless. So, I enjoy it. Talladega is actually my favorite track. It's the first track I ever went to, first race I ever saw. And so, this place is awesome. I love it. But, Rick, what do you think? You like this track, or are you not a fan of this track?
I love this track. I really do.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Well, here we go. Pace cars dropped off again as we have this big field. 31 cars still on the lead lap, going to race it out here at Talladega to see who can make their way into the championship. Round of 16. Green flag back in the air at Talladega SuperSpeedway. Let's go.
All right, Nathan Harper is out there in front. He's got the 71 of Wyatt Gray behind him. That outside line has Lilith Peters and the 41 of Alex Linney.
Yeah, definitely the field is broken up pretty heavily right now. 3 seconds separating first all the way to 30th. So a little bit more separation, but we've seen this even at mile and a halfs. The accordion effect, everybody gets spread out, then through the draft, everybody comes back in. You see the 48 drop down the bottom line there. He has no help, but now he does. The 81 of William Corinne now drops to the bottom line as he becomes the second car in that bottom row. Another car drops down.
And back up. That's the challenge we face at this super speedway, like many others. By the time we call out and tell you who's leading, it's changed. But that outside line has gotten a great run over that low line.
They have, and they've done a great job here at Talladega so far. Specifically, Harper, Gray, Peters, and Linney setting the tone. I mean, they are all working together, and they are all doing a great job keeping all their cars up front.
Well, just to put it out there, that your leader, Nathan Harper, with Wyatt Gray behind, the two of them have a combined high rating of over 10,000.
Well, Rick, that explains a lot.
There's a factor right there. No slouch. Lilith Peters right there with a over 3,600. Alex Linney, 4,694. So there's some quality racers up front here at Talladega. in this Tech for Troops Cup Series.
Yep, the numbers don't lie. I love talking about numbers, and the stats don't lie. I mean, if you look at, top four, all of them over 3,600 up to 5,500, and those are not easy numbers to come by any means. So kudos to them for putting in the time and the effort, and it shows off. So right now, currently, your top 10, Nathan Harper, Wyatt Gray, Little Peters, Alex Flaney, Stephen Gibson, Chad Jones, Justin Horton, Jeff Denny, Brandon Brown, and Chris Farrell make up your top 10. And look at Jeff up there in the 8th position. I'm going to give a shout out to Jeff really quick. He's doing a great job. Haven't seen him much up at the front, but when he is up there, you love to see it. As you see the Brandon Brown machine getting pushed by the 06 of Chris Farrell.
That's a big push right there. Jeff got a little bit loose there, Jeff.
Hold on to her.
Yeah. Oh, he was super loose, but saved it. That middle line is now formed up.
Yeah, that middle line formed. You have the 97 in the middle. Oh, Jeff Denny, big check up there with the 90. Oh, hold on to it. Oh, we got 4 wide. Brandon Brown got forced in the middle. Back there in mid-pack. Looks like they got it all sorted out. That could have been pretty chaotic, but they all got it worked out. Jeff Denny now up to P6. And talking about drivers moving their way up to the front, we have our biggest mover right now, Christoph Hall, up 25 spots, up to P9. We're seeing that outside line a little squirrely, a little bit broken up. As we see 3 wide in the back. Oh, hold on to it. Oh, we're wrecking. No, we're not. Maybe we are. Nope, I think we saved it. Oh, my goodness. Big moment there in the back. Back few cars. As Chris Farrell makes his way to the inside line.
He's trying to get back up there, but he needs a lot of help. Oh, big move by the 40. He drops out, almost lost it.
Yeah, the high line seems to be a little bit loose, to say the least. It seems like the cars are a little bit unsettled there, but that's what makes for good racing, when the cars are not entirely secure, and you really have to put a lot of wheel and a lot of skill into
hey, John,
that. So
I need to take a call. I'll be right back. Stay with it.
Sounds good. All righty. Well, looking here, we have at the inside, there's Brandon Brown now going to the inside, trying to get that bottom line formed here at Talladega, with Nathan Harper still out front. Jeff Denny thought about taking it 3 wide in the middle, but brings it back up right in front of Christoph Hall in the 98 machine. 2 rows for him now, getting pushed by that 41 machine, I believe the 81 is getting a push. 81's pushing the 68, of Brandon Brown, potentially to the lead. And yeah, folks, that is the same Brandon Brown who won at Talladega before. So, oh, big contact, Brandon Brown. Oh, he saves it. No, he doesn't. He comes back up the track. Oh, we're wrecking. Caution is out at Talladega.
Big wreck.
Yep, Rick, you got back just in time. Brandon Brown was getting pushed and lost it and came back up the track trying to save it and got into another driver. It looked like all will be okay, but there was an incident between the 68 and a couple other cars. We'll see how this was. See, he already got squirrely right there, got a bad push. Nowhere to go. He's trying to save this, comes back up, hits the 81. They both go sliding. Oh, boy. Well, Rick, I can see the issue here.
Go ahead, put it out there.
So it's an off-centered push right there that's going to send the 68 up into the 4 contact. 81 does not lift enough, comes back up into the 68. Another push gone wrong. 68 goes on the apron. He's currently trying to save this thing and just comes back up the track, hits the 81 square, and knocks them both sideways. I don't know if anybody else got involved in this one. Looks like people trying to avoid it. Chris Farrell, 97, barely gets by.
Yeah.
68 might clip this wall. Oh, barely clipped it. Back in the throttle right there, trying to stay off the wall.
All right.
So that brings out our second caution of the night.
Okay, a couple drivers. Cody Sturgill was on pit road. He's coming out. David Watts is on pit road, but I think David was involved in that earlier incident, so he's making repairs, but that means everybody else is coming down pit road.
That battle out of pit road, I believe. Nathan Harper still. Oh, or is it Wyatt Gray? Oh, I think Wyatt Gray actually
beat him out.
Won the race out of pit road. Yep, won the race off of pit road. Rick, this has been a very intense race so far.
Yeah, 26 laps in, second caution. Both events have been messy.
Just a little bit.
Well, I mean, we are so fortunate with the fact that you had Brandon Brown, who was up front right there on that low line, lost it, almost completely saved it, but although he did come back up, it could have been a whole lot worse.
Very well could have. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Jack Raymondson. I manage business development here at Tech for Troops, and I'm my second year with this amazing veteran nonprofit owned and operated by veterans for veterans. I served in the U.S. Marine Corps as an amphibious assault crewman from 1992 to 1996. I also served in the U.S. Coast Guard from 2002 to 2007, joining after 9/11 as an operations specialist, then serving as an instructor of Coast Guard Training Center, Yorktown. I also spent many years as a first responder volunteering as an EMT and fireman. I'm here at Tech for Troops because I believe in our mission to empower veterans and their families with the gift of computers and technology training, as well as our outreach to help curb veteran suicide while providing a safe and meaningful community where veterans are treated with respect and dignity. We are aiming for zero veteran suicide through gaming and other program opportunities. We help veterans regain a new sense of purpose and help them see they have a brighter future ahead of them. It truly is an honor and my pleasure to serve my fellow veterans and help give them a leg up. 2024 is Tech for Troops' 10th anniversary year, and I ask that you help us support our veterans and their families with a computer donation and or greatly needed financial contribution so we can help every last veteran in need. Together, you and Tech for Troops can be change makers. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the Tech for Troops Cup Series here at Talladega, our final race of the regular season before we move into the playoffs. We are under caution here, but we are about to go back to green flag racing. Wyatt Gray is in charge. He's on that low line in that, how would you describe that color? That
almost like a maroon?
Maroon, yeah, almost a maroon.
Like
maroon 71.
Yeah, like a maroon or a ruby. Yeah, I mean, it's
ruby
kind of an interesting, ruby red. Yeah, I'm looking at William Byron's car right now that he drove at Martinsville. Yeah, it's pretty much the same color. Yeah, it's pretty close. So I call that a ruby red.
There you go. Nathan Harper to his outside. Lilith Peters tucked in behind the control car, and you've got Ty Bostic to the outside. Ty finds himself up at the front. Ty is not a huge fan of super speedway racing, but hey, I'm sure he'll take it.
We've asked him firsthand if he likes it, Rick, and
we have. He's not a fan.
No, not at all. So good to see him up front. Possibly could get him a win, but get him locked in. All right. Here we go. About to get the green flag back out here at Talladega to get this chaos back underway. 71 on the bottom line of Wyatt Gray forward to the outside and Nathan Harper, and we are green flag racing again from Talladega.
A little bit of moving going on in the back there. Kind of dancing around as this group gets formed up, looking back through the field a bit. A lot of swapping positions, folks. I hope they just going to make sure that they are spatially aware as you make those moves from the upper line to the lower line.
And you bring up a good word and a good phrase, spatially aware, or spatial awareness. That is something that is only executed and honed in specifically based off of experience. And it is different for everybody. It depends on your setup. It depends on if you run single monitor versus triple monitor versus VR. It depends even on your depth of field that you use for your screen. And so while some drivers like to be right up basically against the dashboard and you don't have any peripherals there, some drivers like to sit a little bit further back where you can somewhat see to the left and to the right of the car. So there are drivers that prefer a lot of different things. So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of sim here on iRacing. You can change the settings, and some drivers, race perfectly fine with not seeing anything. They can use their mirrors. They can use a button to look left and look right. So everybody's different here, but spatial awareness is probably the biggest key, not only to racing, but to super speedway racing, knowing exactly how far away the car is in front of you that you're pushing, how far away the car is next to you, to your left and to your right, even if the car behind you, the closing speeds. Because we've seen it time and time again, Rick, where somebody makes a bad block, next thing you know, they've spin out. And it's because they made a block when the car behind them is going 5 to 10 miles an hour faster than them.
Absolutely. A lot of dancing and changing of positions. The 41 of Alex Linney has found himself up front. He's got the 7 of Zach Ward behind him. To the outside, Wyatt Gray with the 4 of Nathan Harper, 22 of Bostic, and the 06 of Chris Morrell, who just now drops down to take over that middle line. He's got that 71. Is it the 71? Not the 71, I'm sorry. I'm trying to call off that number. Okay, it's a 70 of Chad Jones.
Yep, Chad Jones. Yeah, Talladega is basically a 200-mile-an-hour chess game, chess match here, and the prize at the end of this game is a spot in the playoffs or a win. And so, while you may not feel comfortable winning this race, positioning yourself up near the front or near the back to avoid, the potential big one, another big one, it's all about the game and the risk and the reward. It's how big of a risk do you play to get the reward. And sometimes, and this is kind of, thinking about this in a reverse psychology kind of a way, sometimes the biggest risk actually isn't being at the front. It's actually being at the back. Because there are often times where the driver behind you will not slow down. Therefore, you get rear-ended. Where if you're at the front, you're not going to have that issue. So it really is a marvel at how this racing goes. And we see a line shift for big push there for the 41 as we see 3 wide now in the middle. Chris Worrell shot the gap between the 4 and the 97.
I don't think people realize just how little the view is from these cars when you're in the pack. Let's jump into Jeff Denis' car.
Yeah, so you can really not see anything to the right of him. You have that rear view mirror, so you can see the driver closing in on the right-hand side. That's Chuck Van Scoik. You can see that the front left quarter or panel of the car in front and the front left wheel of the car next to him. But yeah, it's all over the place here in Talladega. Oh, big drop down. That's going to slow up the bottom line pretty heavily.
Yeah, that's Mike Slaughter. It's like they catch up to some to a slower pack.
I'm not sure. But as you can see,
Yeah, that had to be. That's the 15 and the 14. I think that they were. Check our telemetry.
Yes. No, the 15 and the 14 are both 14th and 15th right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff got to the inside of the 14. It looks like we're all good.
All right, back up front. The 41 showing as our leader. He's got the 71 behind him. Nathan Harper, Ty Bosick, but on the inside lines where things get a little bit unsettled because now that's the 70 that's dropped low. That's Chad Jones, but he's by himself with no help.
I mean, I guess. I mean, maybe he wanted to cycle to the back.
Maybe just off the point there.
But as it stands, 35 laps into this event, we are 10 laps away from halfway. Alex Linney up front, Wyatt Gray in second, Nathan Harper, Ty Bostic, Will Peters, Sammy Harrell, Justin Horton, James Lowe, Stephen Gibson, and William Corinne make up your current top 10. That's probably going to change this next one lap.
Yeah. So these guys came in, these drivers came in on lap 25. They're 10 laps into this stint. Oh, wrecking right up front. 43 goes around.
He stays under the bottom. Nobody hits him.
Oh, there's contact with the 50. Just a slight tap. Bring out the third caution.
Ay. Sammy, what in the world?
I think he got turned.
Yeah, it looked like either a push gone bad or somebody got to his left rear quarter panel and turned him down because that was a very aggressive downward swipe.
So that's
he's up and out high.
That's Horton to the inside.
Oh no, he came down. He tried to avoid the 01.
Yeah, yep. He was not clear.
Not clear at all.
And it goes good here. Most folks get around, but then there's a little bit of contact right there. Minor with the 50.
I'd be worried about the RPMs of the 43.
Yep.
Specifically when he's stationary. So when he goes in the pits, maybe we could take a look into his in-car and see if he has any RPM damage. If it jumps below 2,000 RPM idling, that means you have engine damage, and we don't have any quick repairs. So, I mean, it was very brief contact, but it was direct contact to the nose, and I know the nose of these Gen 7 Cup cars are very sensitive.
Off the throttle around a 20, well, 2,000.
Yep, so it looks like it should be okay. I think he was actually checking that right there. You can see right there he's clutching up the gas. Yeah, he should be good, actually, there in that 43. Big break for the 43 as everybody makes their way down pit road.
The rest of the entire field makes their way down onto pit road. Be a number of drivers who won't be able to come down quite yet. Really, it may be just Jeff Nairn. Oh, Wyatt Gray has overshot his pit, had to make some adjustments. Drivers make their way back out. Ty Bostic finds himself, I think, on the point on this next restart.
Do you think he likes that very much?
I think he's hating it, every bit of it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Rick, as it stands right now in this race, where would you want to be? Would you want to be in the front? Would you want to be in the back?
I am a little concerned. I'm not sure I want to even be in this race. There's just a lot going on.
There is.
I mean, ideally, if they're just a little racy with just 37 laps in.
Agreed.
You're not going to win it on lap 37. You've got to set yourself up, and with the fact that there are no quick repairs in this event, you have really got to take care of your stuff. So I'm thinking, I'd be pretty happy somewhere in the ideally top 10, and if I trusted those guys I'm racing with, I'm good with that. But the battle sometimes between 8 to 20, yowza.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, lights are off on top of our pace car. We'll be going back to green flag racing momentarily here at Talladega. We thank you for tuning in tonight to our last race of the regular season, but next week we will start with our playoff races. Trying to bring up our schedule just so I have that at my fingertips. So next week, believe it or not, we start off with a classic race. We'll actually be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Wow.
And then on to the Chicago Street Race. And Kansas wraps up the round 1 of the round of 16 drivers.
Should be a good race. Should be a good round.
It should. A lot of different tracks, a lot of fun tracks, so something for everyone. All right, again, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network of the Tech for Troops Cup Series, also sponsored by Goat Racing Diecast. Just an absolutely great organizations, both Tech for Troops and Goat Racing. Without them, we could not do what we do for these drivers who come out week after week to participate. These are full. We are at deep into the series, and we've got these full fields. It's crazy. All right, Ty Bostic has elected to take that outside line.
Interesting choice. And we'll see specifically how this works out for him. He's got the 81 right behind him, and green flag. Yep, back in the air here at Talladega. 81 of William Corrine into the inside. That's the 97 of Stephen Gibson in that Red Bull Chevrolet Camaro.
Those are teammates right there, William Corrine and Ty Bostic. Good to have your teammate right there on your tail. But just like that, the 707 makes his way. James Lowe is now back up front on the outside, and he's got a big push going on with the 55 of Scotty Grove. Also teammates, and right there, Chris Worrell. So Grove, Lowe, Worrell, that is Team Rocket Racing.
And they are rocketing to the front. Absolutely.
Now another challenge that's going on as well is the Earnhardt Challenge here.
Sure,
So
yeah.
Team
talk a little bit
Rocket
about that.
Racing was leading the points, and these points are handed out, I believe, at lap 30 and 60, and the overall. And there's a cash prize for the winning team. Oh, and they're wrecking right up front.
Yep, they are. Oh, the 01 came almost back up the track. We got a car spinning on the inside in the grass. Well, that was chaotic.
The caution hasn't come out.
They're still racing. Wow. Maybe, well, that was absolutely crazy. That was wild. I can't believe a caution didn't fly.
So Wyatt Gray was, let's go back. I think I can grab that. Let's. So that's Nathan Harper. Let's jump up to Nathan. Well, I guess we can stick with this. So Nathan Harper's, that's the Wyatt Gray is right there. You got Nathan Harper, Lilith Peters, and who was leading at that time?
I believe it was that's
Alex
the 07
Linney?
of James.
No,
or is that
no.
James Lowe?
No, that's the 41 of Linney. He spins. There's slightly bit of contact there. Then the 41 drops off the racing surface.
Man. I mean, he was all sideways. I'm surprised the caution didn't fly.
Watching the 41 of Linney, but since he's off the racing surface, everybody stays up. He keeps that car pointed in the right direction. So because of that caution, the caution won't fly.
That's pretty interesting to me. I'm surprised. Well, that's going to change everything. That's going to separate this field. Just a little bit, to say the least.
Yep.
You still have a pack of about 20 cars right here. 19 to be exact.
Unfortunately, I think the 68, the 41, they're all back there at the tail end of the field. I think the 81 as well. They're finding themselves kind of all alone. And what we've learned out here on this track, you can't be by yourself. You need help.
Absolutely you do.
So James Lowe in the 07 finds himself up front with Lilith Peters and Ty Bostic, Dalton Shy, Christoph Hall, Todd Merkel, Chad Jones, Aiden Lucas, Nathan Harper in currently 9th, and Chuck Van Scoik in 10th. All right, coming up on the halfway point here.
Yep, halfway here, just about at Talladega. And you have drivers who need to win up at the front. Ty Bostic, Dalton Sly, Christoph Hall, Chad Jones, Todd Merkel, Jeff Nanit. To talk about Jeff, I mean,
Yeah.
stayed in the top 10 all race. I mean, that would be, what a story. He'd be ecstatic.
So getting back to that story I was talking about earlier with the Earnhardt Challenge, just to clarify, the admins will look at who is leading or what position you were in your team at lap 30, lap 60, and at the end of the race. They'll assign those positions points, and then the winning team takes home a good bit of cash. Right now, Team Rocket Racing is out front with Southern E Motorsports, Kaiju Cat, all right there. That's 1, 2, and 3. All right, but what we're watching right now is the 07 of James Lowe with Lilith Peters behind. That outside line has got the 85 of Dalton Shy with Nathan Harper. Finds himself now back up on his bumper. We've got Ty Bostic there as well as Jeff Nanine. Jeff's having a good race.
Very good race. Very impressed.
Oh, there's contact with the 50.
to it. He held on to it. Oh, we're wrecking the backside Bostic. No caution. Still everybody going in the right direction.
I think that was
Well,
Christoph Hall.
now.
Christoph Hall came down. He saved it.
Rick, that is
We
that is
saw
twice
it
now.
all. I know. We caught it. Crazy. But that's this track. That's the kind of racing you get with super speedway. It's not just skill. It's not just I-rating. You better have a lucky horseshoe in the back of that car.
We've had 2.
Near big ones.
Yeah, that what that tells me is we just used 2 of our strikes right there. The third one I can guarantee you is coming up soon. There's no way we can dodge another one. But we've almost had the big one twice here at Talladega. This is definitely going to split up the field, which it already has. As you see the field starting to basically snake their way through. Oh, hold on to it. There goes 55. Man, there's a lot of action going on right now.
There is. They're just, they're not afraid. There's no fear amongst these drivers. They're 4 wide.
We're still half a race, right? This isn't the last lap.
No.
Okay. Just making sure I can read.
You saw the 40 of Jeff Denis. I think he basically said, you know what? I'm going to check out a little bit. You guys can go do that because you're crazy. All right, single pack kind of breakaway with that front group of 10 or 12 drivers down to the Maxwell Caldwell in the 94. So that's top 10 right there. That low line has formed up with Jeff Neeney and Chris Howell, along with Justin Lewis on that low line. Justin Lewis kind of backed out of it, or Neeney moved up. Get a lot of cars dive bombing off the high line, just weaving their way through. 3 wide right now.
I think these guys think it's the last lap. I think they're confused. Instead of it saying 49, I think it says 89 or 90 in their mind.
It's crazy
because it is all over the place. But we knew it was going to be like this at Talladega. I think there's going to be a lot of take and very little give.
Well, we've had 0 gives right now.
Yeah, 0. Absolutely nil. None. Zilch. Nada. As we are approaching lap 50 here, that means about 40 to go. Last pit stop around 36 pit stops coming here in roughly about 6 laps, which means you're going to have pit stops about lap 76 to 77, and then it'll be good to go to the end.
All right, back up front. Nathan Harper has taken over the lead with his teammate Lilith Peters behind. Behind that is Garrett Johnson in the 15, Scotty Grove in the 55. The 07 of James Lowe is tucked in behind. Got Justin Horton. Then the low line has begun to make a move. James Lowe has dropped down to that low line as that front line, that high line basically broke apart. And just like we said before, as soon as we call it out, it's all going to change.
And we're back to 3 wide again here.
Oh, yeah. Lovely.
Oh, hold on. There it is. Card.
That's the 07 of James Lowe.
Okay. Who's got the horseshoe? Does every driver have it now? Because
Yeah, they're sharing.
They really are. They're just passing a baton off like a relay event at the Olympics. I mean, it's just a big relay race right now. And he cycles to the back, and 50 now moves it to the front. Justin Lewis up 28 positions. Easily the biggest mover of the race outside of Sammy Harrell, up 27 now. Up to what was the front. Now he's cycling back as it changes as we speak.
A lot of big movers up there in the top 5. Dalton Shy up 22, Sammy Harrell 30, Justin Lewis 24, Austin Call at 11, up 21 positions, 22 positions. So lots of movement. Heck, you've seen that. Those cars are moving all around. 3 wide right there as they blow by. I thought that was Justin Horton right there in the middle. Yep. Trying to do our best, keeping an eye on what's happening in the lead pack and the mid packs. Looks like Jeff Neely is making his way onto pit road.
He is.
Yep, not sure why, but yep.
I'm not sure.
Oh, a little bit of movement. The 64 of Cody Sturgill. A little bit of contact with Aiden Lucas there. They're bunched up pretty tight. I think Jeff Neely went in and took fuel and tires.
Yes, I believe he did with that pit stop time of 14.22. I believe you are correct. As we see the 18, Justin Horton, shoot the gap in the middle. Not sure that's the most appropriate move, but we have a slow car up here, up on the high side now. Everybody has to shift down to the bottom. That's going to cause a little bit of chaos.
That's the 71. That's up on the high side. That's Wyatt Gray. He is a lap down. Trying to pick up some of that draft.
Oh, almost wrecked. Oh, God. There's something in the air. I don't know. We almost saw a car get turned. I think it was either the 88 or the 06. This is the most luck I've seen at Talladega ever.
Right? Sammy Harrell has now found his way back up to third, up 32 positions.
Wow.
Remember, he started last.
He did.
Of course, his pack is catching up to Jeff Neely, who went in for tires and fuel, and unfortunately, he's got a 3-wide freight train roaring up behind him. They're going to catch him on the front stretch. 4 wide.
4 wide at Talladega. Rick, somehow they're making it work. I don't know. I'm just sitting here at a loss for words. Oh, gosh. Well.
Saved it.
I've saved it.
That's the unfortunate thing here. If you're running nose to tail, you're pushing your teammate. It's super easy to make a mistake and wipe out your own teammate.
For sure, a push gone wrong, a misaligned push. I mean, it's a big gamble, but you'll see these drivers do it night in and night out here when they race at Talladega.
So that's 20 laps since they last gone in. 2.66 miles. Where's my calculator?
It's about time.
Yeah, I would think.
Should be about time.
I don't think your miles. Yeah, here we go. We're going to have some. Here we go. The first group is headed down pit road. Sammy Harrell, Chuck Van, all the GOAT Racing guys.
Yep. All the GOAT racers.
I'm assuming this should probably only be a fuel stop.
Would be my guess. Yes. That'd make the most sense.
All right.
And
that's
Rick,
what- go ahead.
I was going to say, at this point, we're going to probably see some more drivers make their way down pit road here. No, nobody takes the offer. That's interesting. So we're at 22 left. Oh, 4 wide again. 4 wide, 4 wide, 4 wide. Back to 3 wide. Still 3 wide. Still 3 wide. And back to 2 wide with cars all over the place.
The 40 base barely saved it. That's the one of Pete Woodrum. But this is what you expect to see when you're planning a pit stop, right? You're all single file, low line. You know you've got to come in. You got to break away. You have to be smooth. You have to get woed up before you can make it down onto pit road.
Exactly right.
And nobody.
Interesting.
Not one car. Never come down on the pit road at Talladega by yourself.
Correct. If you do that, like I said in the pre-race, you will be behind everybody. Your likelihood of you getting caught up is low. So you never want to do it. But right now, them going single file like this tells me one thing and one thing only. They are probably coming up pit road this time. Typically, that's what you see. Let's see how many people drop down. Yep, there they are. Here comes the field. Now, I'm paying attention. Who is going to get a speeding penalty? If anybody. Oh, no one yet. Looks like somebody did go off of pit road and came back on, but no speeding penalties. Great job from these Tech for Troop Cup Series drivers.
No penalties that we see, no speeding, and we're off.
We're back out. This is the fun part, getting organized.
Yeah. You cannot come off pit road 3 wide, just saying. Okay, watch out for that blend line.
Yep, the blend line is there. There's the pack going back around. As you see, Maxwell Caldwell, Todd Merkel, Andrew Paleschi, Justin Lewis, and Austin Call on pit road. Second pack of cars on pit road, coming out of pit road, that is.
Sammy Harrell and Lilith Peters up front. A lot of contact going on. There's a lot of bumping. That's Peters and Nathan Harper to the outside. Chuck Van Scoik and Sammy Harrell, those are teammates. The 10 is there as well, Aiden Lucas. With 28 laps to go, that's kind of what you need to be organized. Now, my calculator still says they need to stop one more time.
I'm right there with you. I think they do. Now, do people try to go into absolute fuel save mode? Possibly. But I just don't think you can get it to the end.
Well, they pitted last on lap. Well, Peters pitted last on lap 60. Prior to that, it was lap 36. So that's 24 laps. 24 only gets us to 84.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one, I would say.
So a good round of green stop, pit stops. I think looking at the scoreboard, the tower, everybody has, I think William Corinne is still on pit road. And he is now coming off by himself.
Back up to the front, though. Drivers who very good when it comes to fuel strategy. Oh, wrecking in the back, car up to the inside. Hard contact.
That was the 85 of Dalton Shy.
There have been a lot of close calls, Rick.
Yep, I do not have that one on camera.
See the contact on the right front right there. He may be coming down pit road to fix it, or he may just stay out to try to possibly just ride around until the next caution comes out, if there is one. Not saying I want one to come, but Rick, we have well overdue. Well overdue with the action we've seen tonight. I mean, it's been very chaotic.
Back up front, still a battle here, but you've got Peters, Harper, Chris Howell on the outside, and the GOAT Racing guys on the low side.
Yep, you got a pack of 8 cars, followed by some drivers who are not battling for position. Then you have the next round of cars that are separated by about 3 seconds, starting with Justin Lewis. Then you have everybody else spread out.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, so a couple different distinct packs here, but just want to note that those 3 cars in the back of this pack are not racing for position. So it stops with just Cody Sturgill there. Actually kind of mixed in through here, so there's a couple cars that are not battling, that are just trying to keep up with the front pack.
Well, but you know, that's really good for those folks that are up front. They're not by themselves. They're able to leverage those lap down cars as drafting buddies.
Agreed. Entirely agree.
Of course, now we're 3 wide across the front.
Well, I mean, I trust these guys. From what we've seen, it's been able to be okay. So, I mean, who knows?
Lilith Peters stayed high. Oh, there was a little bit of contact. That's the 15th.
Yep,
right there, the 88. That's Christopher Howell.
88. Oh, he's sliding. He's going to get right in front of this pack. That is.
He saved it, but
coming with a full head of steam. That's led by the 50. Justin Lewis, that is for position.
yeah, I'm not sure he's able to hang on to that tail end of that Tiger.
I don't think it is. I don't think he is.
Bad luck for the 88. All right, back up front. It's just as chaotic. You've got the 18 of Justin Horton, who's out front. The 42, we're 3 wide. Nathan Harper finds himself in the middle, but now Lewis drops down. You got Lewis, Gray, Palici, and Harper in that middle line, or the high line, depending on what happens in the moment. 23 laps to go. Justin Lewis finds himself out in front. But from our calculations, everybody's going to stop one more time.
That is correct.
There is some beating and banging going on. I don't know how they're keeping these cars pointed in the right direction.
They're doing a great job. when is the levee going to break? You know, it's the water's overflowing. It's spewing out everywhere. There's cracks all over the place. When is it going to break? Is the question. And with 22 to go, it could break any time now. And we've had very close calls.
Big move with Louis Pileshi. That's Sammy Harrell. No, the 91 is out there. Of course, the 91 is Andrew Pileshi. Who's behind the 91?
That is I believe that is the
15.
Another.
There's a 15 of Garrett Johnson, I think. He's just mixed in. He's a lap down car.
Yep, that is correct. I was looking at the wrong car. Yep. He is currently the second car lap down. The first car lap down is the 71.
He was right there out the front. So again, we got some lap down cars up there battling, trying to get their position back. But Justin Lewis is up there right now leading.
And 3 wide starting up there. There's, I believe, Kaiju Cat Motorsports up at the top, trying to make that third line work. As you can see, a big push. Teammates in the middle, James Lowe and Chris Worrell.
Now, don't lose sight of the fact that Justin Lewis and Andrew Pileshi, those guys are teammates in Lewis Motorsports.
Wow.
Oh, the 71 came across the nose of the 7, and they contact. 7 wrecks with the 6. Oh, car sideways.
Up along the wall.
That's
wall
Nathan
riding.
Harper. Nathan Harper still on his side, coming down. Rolls
he's going to flip.
Barrel rolls into the grass.
Wow. Comes back on all fours, and he's ready to go. That car might be okay.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Never mind. I saw the left front toe leak broke. Never mind. Hey, if Tyler Reddick can flip upside down and drive back to pit road, the 4 is going to try to do it too. Let's take a look and see what sparked this wreck. Some of the more popular drivers, I would say.
Yeah, I think we're going to go up a little bit closer to the front.
Oh, you can see the front car at the top line already sideways.
Yep, I think that was the 71. I could be wrong. Bear with us as we're kind of trying to get a little bit closer to the 07. Let's get to back that up just a little bit, because there was that little bit of a bump right there with the 07 and Lewis. So that's James Lowe in the 07. The 71 decides, and I remember he's a lap down. He came up and wound up right in front of the 07. No place for the 07 to go. They bump. The 06 is trying to say, these guys are wrecking in front of me. I need to go somewhere. The 91 comes up and now takes the 06 and the 07. The 15 is involved.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like they it looks like the 91 almost came up. I mean, the 06 obviously shot the gap, but it looks like the car moved up a little bit there. So unfortunate for those drivers, but Rick, guess what? Everybody's on pit road here.
They are.
With 19 to go. This is the money stop, and we only have 19 laps. That means they can make it to the end.
They're all coming out. They all just went in just for fuel only. We expected that. Number of drivers took tires, including Lilith Peters and Andrew Pileshi, Justin Lewis. That's a bit of a risk, but hey, that's their call. They're making that decision for themselves.
Correct.
So you saw that glitch in the broadcast. That was actually not so much the broadcast, but during that wreck, it looks like the 07 may have blinked. And when he blinked like that, the iRacing has nothing to broadcast or give us that footage. So we wanted to put that little bit of a black screen. So there's that.
Well, it happens.
Yep, absolutely. So what we do know is right now the order is Harrell, Horton, Slagter, Van Scoik, Sturgill, Lucas, Paleshi, Peters, Call, and Justin Lewis. That is your top 10.
Rick, this is going to become a very interesting race to see who's going to make it to the front because, tempers haven't really been high, but the moves have been absolutely wild all over the place,
Absolutely. So those cars that were a lap down, now it's their time to get on pit road and take care of their service. We're going to do a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hi, America. I'm Mark Castro, President of Tech for Troops. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you for making 2023 such an amazing year. We completed our mission, and it feels good to have another successful year behind us. But I want to tell you, this year, 2024, is our 10th anniversary, 10 years of doing this mission, and you have been so supportive of us. So I want to take a moment to say, please continue to support us. We're going to have an event or more every month. Please stay tuned in our calendar. Please stay tuned on our social media. Join us in the celebration of our mission and what we do. And we look forward to seeing you and having your support for our mission of ending veteran homelessness through bridging the technology divide. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
All right, welcome back to the IWM Broadcast Network of the Tech for Troops Cup Series. Final race of the regular season here at Talladega. We've got 17 laps to go, and if you've been hanging with us, it has been a wild ride. We have had multiple leaders, multiple wrecks, wild wrecks, and right now, Sammy Harrell, who started in last, is to the outside up front. You've got Justin Horton down below. I think Sammy is our control car.
Yes, I believe you're correct.
So right now, last to first, with 17 to go.
Well, it's about to be a crazy one, folks, so definitely do not tune away. We have playoff implications on the line. We have a ton of drivers who can still win this race. Geico Restart Zone, they are in, and we are green flag racing with just 16 to go at the line. Who is going to win their way in, or maybe just lock them in on points into the championship round of 16? Right now, we have Sammy Harrell and Chuck Van Scoik up at the front.
I think it's 1, 2, 3, GOAT Racing.
Well, they always find their way.
They do.
They always, they're great with the strategy calls, and excited to see where they're going to end up. See some guys making their way down to the bottom lane now. Almost everybody getting somewhat single file here, a little bit more orderly.
A little bit of desperation is beginning to kick in now, because if you haven't figured it out, there's 16 laps to go. That is not a lot of time to make up for positions.
Nope, not at all.
Sammy Harrell needs the win.
He does. As we see 3 wide now, Lil Peters going way below the yellow line to pass the car. I don't know what the officials will think about that one. I caught her when she was obviously well below that yellow line. Don't know if it was an evasive maneuver, but what I do know is that there is massive movement going on in this middle of the pack, and you do not want to be in this hornet's nest.
Sammy Harrell still out front. Right now, Sammy, I think, looking back at the number, yes, Sammy is currently in 15th. He is just above the cut line.
Yep, he is 15th. So let's look it through these standings really quick. So Sammy Harrell, basically, if he wins, he's locked in. Chuck Van Scoyk already locked in. Aiden Lucas sitting 14th in the standings. Justin Horton sitting 11th in the standings. Mike Slatker sitting 6th in the standings. Cody Sturgill, he is sitting 13th in the standings. Lilith Peters already won 2 races. Steven Gibson, nowhere even in the top 16. You have Chad Jones, nowhere in the top 16. And then you have Ty Bostic, who is currently sitting in P7 in the standings. So these top 10 drivers are full with drivers who need to win or have already won.
Well, what they don't need to do is make a mistake.
Correct.
Or worse, have someone else make a mistake and take them out. That's the challenge.
"13 laps to go, and the strength of this field is getting tight. You have some of these cars that are running some of the fastest laps of the race, and the intensity is going to pick up here as you see this outside line starting to make their way to the front.
That outside line's led by the 91 of Andrew Pileshi. He's got a little bit of drafting help by the 47 of Austin Call. But again, this is one of those interesting tracks. You've got to know when to push and do a good job of it. It's so hard to do it on the back stretch, but even more challenging on the front stretch and really challenging in either of these corners.
Exactly. You got to basically be perfect.
As crazy as that sounds, there's not a lot of options there.
No.
The 50 of Justin Lewis is right there as well, sitting behind them.
There's that top line getting formed. You can see it. We'll see who goes. It looks like you have the Kaiju Cat as well as, I believe that is 71 as well up there, which they are not even on the lead lap.
No, they're not. That's Wyatt Gray. They are a lap down. Well,
so what do you do? Do you put a block on a lap down car so they don't pull forward the teammates behind them?
Got the 41 and the 71 on that high line. They're lap down cars. Just let them go. Just stay out of their way. They've got nothing to lose. They're already with just 11 laps down. With 11 laps to go, they're at the tail end of the field.
Right. That's exactly right. As you see, the 47 and the 91 shift lanes right there. 47.
That's 4 wide.
Oh,
4 wide.
We're wrecking. Ty
behind.
Bostic involved. Jeff Denis involved. Is that Lilith Peters? No, she made it through.
Bostic looks like in decent shape. Not sure exactly what happened to him, but he survives.
Bostic got right front damage. I think he got caught up in it a little bit more than it looks like.
So right now, John, this is the replay. They're 4 wide. Peters to the outside. We're following behind Bostic.
97's here. It looks like the 94 tries to come down. Oh, the 94 was... what do you think? Is that a bad block or...
Well, I don't think he was clear. The 97 has no place to go. He's holding his line. The 94 was off pace and dropped down right in front of him.
Yep. And maybe the 97 could have potentially backed off a little bit, but heck, no one's going to back off with 10 laps to go. So
Woodrum,
yeah.
The 40 involved. The 20 gets tagged twice. Not terrible damage, but The 94 again also comes up and tags the 40, sending him around again. Unfortunately for Jeff, he's a lot of damage on that Bass Pro Shops 40.
That's tough. Tough break. Tough break.
All right, 9 laps to go. We are under caution for only the 5th time tonight. So a number of drivers involved in that. But I think we are expecting everybody to come down.
Possibly.
Well, I mean, most of these drivers pitted on lap 72. That was all they needed. So you're right. We'll see the folks probably involved. That's Garrett Johnston, Bostic, Chris Worrell, Max Caldwell, Jeff Neely, Pete Woodrum, who's also involved in that incident. Number of other drivers on pit road. Some getting repairs. Nathan Harper and Scotty Grove both in getting work done.
Yep.
All right.
Late
so that
laps
is
to go here.
Yeah, that's probably not what the GOAT Racing guys wanted to see.
No. They execute this race almost to perfection. They do a great job with it. And they're always at the front of the end of these things, and that's something that they did not want to see was that caution. You were right. So we'll see how they make this race, make the most of this race, knowing with probably 6 laps to go once they get the green flag, how they're going to shuffle this one out.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, our last one of the night, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech for Troops? Tech for Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to techfortroops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech for Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to the Tech for Troops Cup Series at Talladega. We've just got 8 laps to go. We're still under caution, but about to get the 1 lap to go. Lights should go out on the pace car. This time across the stripe. Sammy Harrell will be the control car. Number of GOAT Racing drivers up front. Sammy Harrell, Chuck Van Scoik, Aiden Lucas. As we were saying earlier, the last thing they wanted to see was a caution come out. They had kind of broken away a little bit up front as they tried to position Sammy for the best possible finish. He is right there at the cut line. And this is the last race of the regular season. So next time by, with 6 laps to go, be a rags to riches story here if Sammy Harrell, who started this race last, could actually win this one all together.
I mean, he very well could do it. I mean, he's definitely needs a win to lock himself in. He doesn't need a win to actually make the playoffs, though. So while he's back there, I mean, his goal is to finish ahead of everybody behind him, which right now he's doing. So Garrett Johnston, Wyatt Gray, who's also 1 lap down, so he doesn't have to worry about him. Aaron Jackson, I don't even think is in the race.
No, he missed the race.
Yep, so you have Jeff Nairn. Jeff Nairn, who is currently running in P15. Philip Vandertwick there, he's running in P18. So he's, we got 2 guys that doesn't really have to worry about. The other 2, possibly, and then everybody else behind them, obviously, if they win. So, Rick, it's going to be a wild 6 laps from Talladega. If you haven't got your popcorn, then I don't know what you've been doing. If you haven't got your nice cold beverage, again, I would recommend doing that sooner rather than later, because we are getting the green flag with just 6 laps to go here at Talladega. Green flag in the air, 43 waits to go to the inside line until after he crosses that start-finish line.
And they're reunited just like we were before this caution. That's Goat Racing 1, 2, 3, Harrell, Van Scoik, Lucas.
And to the high side, you see that 18 getting pushed by the 91. That is Justin Horton and Andrew Pileshi there. Great run on the outside. You have 2 lanes now working up there. You have a big separation between these front 10 drivers and drivers that are about 1.3 seconds back, starting with Chad Jones. So,
and they are 3 wide in that pack behind.
Oh, big push, almost gone wrong. 91 almost spins the 18. Don't know how the 18 is going to feel about that.
Yeah, I thought it was almost a bit of a side drive happening, but no, big push sends him off and drops him down to the low side.
Here comes the 50 of Justin Lewis. Now,
push. That's the 64. Cody Sturgeon got into the back of the 18. You saved it.
The pushes are all over the place.
Yeah, pushes are too big.
Yeah, they're in the corner.
Oh, contact. 43 and the 64. Those are teammates.
My goodness. Well, we got contact all over the place. You receive contact, and you receive contact, and you receive contact. You're like Oprah up here. Big move from the 98. Christoph Hall down to the bottom lane. Going to block that run. And here comes the 50 now to the bottom lane. We'll get a push from the 98. He has to check up, though. This is not going to be smooth, as we are now coming to 4 laps to go. To the high side, you have Christopher Howell. I haven't called his name all night, but he is getting pushed by the 98 of Christoph Hall. And Will Peters now in the middle line, pushing that 91 of Andrew Pileshi to the lead. Oh, pushing to the left side of that car is not going to be great.
He was trying to get around him.
And Rick, with 4 laps to go, it is full send, no lift around Talladega. There's the move to the inside. There's the GOAT Racing drivers of Chuck Van Scoik and the 43 of Sammy Harrell to the point. Oh boy, this is chaos all around.
4 laps to go, and there is just a whole lot of movement. That's the 01 of Peters up into the middle line. Now to the high line. Sammy Harrell finds himself back down in front of the low line, but there's all kinds of contact up on the high line with the 91 and the 01. 01 drops down dramatically.
I think she kind of got shoved down to the bottom line.
Well, better get away.
Yeah, really. Now to the point, though, the 91 and the 88 now. The 88 of Christopher Howell and the 91 of Andrew Pileshi. There's 88 down to the bottom side, with just 3 laps to go. Here comes the 06 to his aid to push him. And Rick, we have a 15-car battle now. 17-car battle, battling for the win here at Talladega with 3 laps to go, coming to 2 laps to go. Can they keep it together to get to the white? That is the question.
Big push. Chris Howell, Chris Worrell.
Big pushing in the middle there. You see the 64.
Oh, the 64. Wow, 64 involved.
What in the world?
They kept it together.
I watched that start from the beginning. He literally was wobbling back and forth almost. I don't even understand. I was very confused.
That guy's going to need a blood alcohol test before this race is over.
I mean, there was something going on there. I don't know what it was, but I've never seen a car act like that. But to the middle, you have Justin Horton now moving to the middle line as we are about to approach the white flag. And if they get this white flag, that last flag is going to be the checkered, and that's going to be this end of the race. All right, here we go. White flag in the air. 88 leads here at Talladega. Will the 06 push him to a victory, or will the 06 try to pull out a line? But here comes the 18.
They're 4 wide behind. There's contact. Wrecking up down below. That's the 18 going around. He's now backwards on track.
50 spun the 18. We have now a 2-horse race up at the front, but look at the inside. You
The
have the 50
06
getting
has
pushed.
backed away, basically stranding the 88 for a second there. Now he got a big push from the 50, upsetting him, but he's still there now. He's going to stay with his dance partner because now we're coming down the start-finish line.
Yep, here they come. The 06 is still pushing the 88. I think they're going to stick together. 94 is there. 94 tries to go to the outside. 94 tries to go to the outside. Not going to do it. Christopher Howell wins at Talladega. Wow, what a race.
That punches his ticket into the playoffs.
Yes, it does. Driver from the outside looking in. Maxwell Caldwell finishes in second. Chris Rowe finishes in third. What a crazy ending to that race.
As soon as we have those results, we'll bring them to you. That was a dramatic finish, but the way this race started, I am not surprised.
Oh gosh, I'm just surprised they kept it together that long.
Yeah, absolutely. Just 5 cautions tonight. A couple big ones. And here we go. We got some race results.
All right, winning tonight's race and locking himself into the Tech for Troop Cup Series championship and the playoffs. You have Christopher Howell winning the race. Maxwell Caldwell finishing in second. Chris Rowe finishing in third. Andrew Pileshi finishing in fourth. Ty Bostic finishes in fifth. Justin Lewis finishing at sixth. Cody Sturgill, Lilith Peters, Austin Call, and Mike Slavka round out 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
William Corinne in 11th. Chad Jones 12th. Christoph Hall 13th. Philip Vandertwick in 14th, Garrett Johnson 15th, Todd Merkel in 16th, Chuck Van Scoik in 17th, in 18th, Sammy Harrell, 19th is Aiden Lucas, Justin Horton is in your top 20.
In 21st, Jeff Nairn, 22nd, Dalton Schley, 23rd, Wyatt Gray, 24th, Pete Woodrum, 25th, Dustin Coggin, Jeff Minnie finishes in 26th, James Lowe in 27th, Alex Laney in 28th, Stephen Gibson in 29th, and Scotty Grove in 30th.
Nathan Harper, 31st. Brandon Brown in 32nd. Zach Ward, Luke Bullard, and David Watts. That is the results of tonight's event. Stay tuned for some driver interviews as soon as we get those drivers in. Wow, that was a heck of a finish.
That was absolutely wild.
See if we can bring back that finish. Just that last pass at the end there with the 94 to take over that position.
Yep.
Well, as Christopher Howell burns down his tires, let's see if we can find our third place finisher, Chris Varela. All right, here he is, Chris Varela. Congratulations. Heck of a finish tonight.
Thank you. I'm glad I finished. That's all I can say.
We're up here. I was nervous as could be for you guys. It was a crazy race.
Yeah, I needed to stay up front to get the regular championship. We needed to be there at the right laps for the Earnhardt challenge. And we had to get Chris the win to get us all in tonight and the playoffs, and we did all of it. Won the Earnhardt Challenge. I'm pretty sure I got the regular championship win. And, man, that going with Chris from the back to the front there, those last couple laps, it just made all the frustration of that race and getting wrecked and run into the whole time so much worth it. It was awesome.
Congratulations on your finish. And obviously your success in the team finish and the Earnhardt Challenge should be a good payday for you and your team.
Hell yeah. We're popping bottles tonight, Mr. Zauser.
Well, next week we start at Indianapolis in the first round of the playoffs. What do you think about that track?
I think it'll be a perfect track to go head hunting after the way we've been treated tonight. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go out there and we'll give them hell. Well,
congratulations on your finish. Absolutely Great to see you up front, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Any shout-outs tonight?
Yeah, big old shout out to Chris there at the end. He trusted me, and I was trying to guide him through it because he couldn't see what was behind me, trying to guide him through to make sure he could get the win, and that was so nerve-wracking. But we got there and got him the win, got him in the playoffs, which is pretty cool. He came on board in the middle of the season to help us after we had our old teammate quit. So that was cool of him. Give a shout out to Rick Javorka for watching the broadcast. Appreciate you watching, buddy. The Black Car Mafia for lending us Scotty. Scotty for coming on and helping us kick some ass. James, Tech for Troops, best sponsor in iRacing, and Rick Souza and John Drew just in the booth.
All right, thanks very much. All right, that's our third place finisher, Chris Worrell, and now we welcome in the booth our second place, Maxwell Caldwell. Max, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wild race tonight. You know, we were talking from the get-go. This was a crazy event.
Oh my God. Like, I've run some Talladega races, like, don't get me wrong, plenty of them. But holy crap. Like, these guys, like, we hung out at the back most of the time because these guys were making some four-wide moves quite often. Got kind of hairy, and you had fuel save mixed with some other stuff. It was nuts. But ultimately, it came down to a really fun race there at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was not a lot of shyness or any give and take tonight, that's for sure.
No. We had some teammates working together pretty good. Except right there, right before the last yellow, which kind of ultimately, I guess, in a way, I was the cause of. But we were getting too confused on what line to be in, and all of a sudden I got split 4 darn wide, and trying to recover from that kind of came on a dude's nose and didn't really fully spin, but just enough to bring the yellow out. And had to do that last restart, P19, to come up to P2. That was nuts, last 6 laps.
Well, congratulations on that. Any shout-outs tonight?
Oh, yeah. First and foremost, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, man. He's blessed me so much to be with some amazing people. I just got to know about this league a few weeks ago and been blessed enough to be able to come run it. And, man, it's one of my favorite places right now. Like, full fields. Some of my teammates from another league are over here with me. Like, it's just an absolute blast to race with some new people, meet some new faces, make some new friendships. It's just a blessing. So thankful for him for letting me do it. My sponsor, Merkel Racing Engines. Todd Merkel's in the field. He sponsors the car. So thankful for him for that sponsorship. Love getting it up here in the top 3. My teammates, Justin Lewis, Austin Call, Andrew Pleshy, Todd Merkel. Those guys, without them, wouldn't have been where I was at tonight. And thankful for the league. They're awesome. And for you guys for putting on an amazing broadcast. I'll have to go back and watch how hairy those last 6 laps were.
Oh, they were hairy.
I was gripping the wheel pretty tight.
Well, we were right there riding along. So, no, congratulations on your finish. And we'll see you next week at Indianapolis.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. All right. Chris couldn't wait. He was right there listening. He jumped right in. We welcome our winner, Christopher Howell, to the broadcast booth.
Hey, give that man a clap. Give him a clap. I'm just so excited. That was awesome. That was a good finish. I'm so glad finally got on the podium here, and I couldn't have done it without my teammate Chris Worrell.
Well, it was great to see you up front, man. We've said it all night long. It was a wild ride. I mean, this was there was 40 competitors to start with. 35 made the show. There were 0 gives. It was all take, all aggression. We saw 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide. There may have been 5 wide. It was wide all night long.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. It was very aggressive from start to finish. Got caught up in something a little early, had 4 minutes of damage, lost a draft a couple of times. I thought I was going to go lap down, and I just kept digging at it and worked my way back up to the front after green flag pit stops, and I got shuffled to the back from a bad push, but you hit the nail right on the head. It was very aggressive tonight. There was a lot of late blocks going on, 4 wide, switching lanes, sporadically. It was a crazy race. Probably it might be one of the most aggressive Talladega races I've ever been a part of.
Well, and the topper on all of that is that there were some great drivers in this league, and they were just making some moves. I mean, it was not like really bad drive, and we saw some great moves to move up positions. I mean, Sammy Harrow for the longest time, he went from last to first. We thought he had this thing in the bag until he didn't.
Yeah, and you know what? Along with Chris Worrell, I mean that move I put right up in front of Sammy there at the end. I wouldn't have got to the front if Sammy wouldn't have pushed me out there. So I want to thank him for that. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was some bad pushes out there and some dumb moves, but overall it was aggressive. And like you said, the good drivers pretty much knew what they were doing. So.
Well, you locked yourself into the playoffs. You did it in a dramatic fashion in the last race of the regular season.
Yeah. I've been points watching for the past I don't know. I think I've been maybe 6 races in a row now. I missed like the first 3 or 4 races this season. Yeah. So I didn't think I was going to be able to make it in on points. So I was watching it, and last week, I had a really good showing at Chicagoland, and I had made up a huge points ground on 16th, and once that race was over last week, I was kind of like, well, I got to go win Talladega. That's my only chance, because I don't think I'm going to make up 33 points, and it worked out, man. I made the right move at the right time, and then Chris, man, he pushed me to the win. He was telling me what to do, where to be, where the run was coming from. I mean, he was coaching me up, man, and I couldn't have done it without him. And I couldn't have done it without the whole team either. I mean, Team Rocket Racing, they welcomed me with open arms, and I appreciate them bringing me in. And it's been awesome racing with James, Chris, and Scotty. And yeah, man, it's been a blast. This race was a blast.
Well, a couple of announcements. With that, Chris Worrell has locked up and becomes the regular season champion here in season 5. Congratulations, Chris.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go. Got one for the team.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris, that's awesome.
The random draw winner tonight was Jeff Nani, and we saw a lot of good moves out of that 40 car tonight. So, congrats to Jeff. So,
good job, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff had some speed tonight for sure.
All right, John. Any thoughts as we begin to bring this one to a close?
Say about time we got Christopher Howell up here.
I mean, hey, John. Jesus, John. It's been like 5 years, bro.
It's been a second. The Christopher Howell on the prowl is back in victory lane, and congrats to Mr. Worrell as well for winning the regular season title. That's huge going into the playoffs and carrying that momentum. And so excited to see what the playoffs bring. And we start that next week. So if you're watching along and you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe so you can stay tuned with everything going on here in the Tech Troop Cup Series. And on Thursday nights, we are in full swing in the playoffs over there. So make sure to tune in then. But we have the playoffs starting next week, Rick. And I'm looking forward to it. I think we got a lot of strong competitors and pretty high. It's pretty competitive for the top 16. So I'm excited to see who's going to be the champion this season.
All right, absolutely, John. That wraps up our broadcast of the Tech for Troops Cup Series event here at Talladega with Christopher Howell taking the win. We will see you next Wednesday for our first round of the playoffs at Indianapolis. But tomorrow night we will bring you the iNASCAR Racing Series. We are at Martinsville for the second to last race of the season there. Second to last?
That's going to be chaos. Martinsville and iRacing, it's something else. So you definitely want to tune in for that one.
Yep, we've got 250 laps on Halloween. So if you're bored handing out candy, just close the door, turn out the porch light, leave the bucket there, and come watch some racing.
There you go.
All right, very good. All right, thanks for tuning in, folks. Have a great night, and good night from the IWM broadcast team.
Good night.